The Kingsguard haven't served much of a purpose on the show for a while now, but I've always enjoyed the concept of it. I'll keep this video contained to only the kings and Kingsguard that are relevant to the current story. This video would be way too long and there are way too many members of the Kingsguard left unnamed to do it otherwise. The Kingsguard's vows are modeled similarly to the vows that our Brothers of the Night's Watch would take before being sworn in. Their life's purpose becomes to serve and nothing else matters. They can't hold any lands or titles, marry, and they guard their king until their death. Each king appoints who he believes are the best knights to fill the 7 spots that make up the Kingsguard, with one of them leading as Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. The faith of the 7, the religion that the majority of the people of Westeros follow, must have inspired the number of members being 7. I'll be going with the book's version of events since the show doesn't make it very easy to follow who exactly is in the Kingsguard and how many members there are. So let's start off with King Aerys Targaryen II, better known as the Mad King. He inherited 2 members from his father, the Lord Commander Sir Gerald Hightower and Sir Barristan Selmy. The other 5 he appointed were Prince Lewin Martell, Sir Gawain Gaunt, Sir Oswell Went, Sir Arthur Dayne, Sir Jonathan Dorry, and Sir Harlan Grandison. In the middle of the Mad King's reign, he would be taken hostage and Sir Gawain Gaunt would die trying to protect him. It's unclear which knight replaced him, but my guess it's either Oswell Went, Arthur Dayne, or Jonathan Dorry. It's likely that Sir Harlan Grandison was serving long before Aerys Targaryen became king, since he would die an old man in his sleep in 281 AC. Harlan would be replaced by Jaime Lannister. He was sworn in just despite his father Tywin. The Mad King and Tywin were once close friends, and Tywin served as his hand, but their relationship would worsen over the years. Jaime was only 15 when he was appointed. With Jaime taking this oath, Tywin's heir became Tyrion, who was an embarrassment in his eyes. Jaime and Barristan Selmy would be the only ones to survive Robert's rebellion. The Lord Commander Gerald Hightower, better known as the White Bull, Oswell Went, and Sir Arthur Dayne, known as the Sword of the Morning, would die at the Tower of Joy guarding over Lyanna Stark. Rhaegar Targaryen would disappear with his close friends Oswell Went and Arthur Dayne and the girl everyone believed he kidnapped before the rebellion began. Gerald Hightower was sent to look for them. Rhaegar would return to fight in the war, but Gerald remained at the Tower of Joy with his sworn brothers. We learn a lot about these long-dead characters from Jaime and Barristan, and they speak highly of these 3 fighters. Gerald was an older man when Ned Stark and his 6 companions found these 3, but Arthur was the deadliest fighter in Westeros. Ned and Howland Reed were the only ones to survive the 7 vs 3 battle. Not long before the battle at the Tower of Joy, Prince Lewin Martell and Jonathan Dorry would die in the Battle of the Trident, along with Rhaegar Targaryen. Lewin Martell was Doran, Oberyn, and Elya's uncle, was a younger brother of their mother, who brokered the betrothal between Elya and Rhaegar, making her a princess and a potential queen. She might have had some influence in making her brother a member of the Kingsguard to protect Elya. Dorne had no love for the Targaryens at the time for how Elya was being mistreated by Rhaegar. But Lewin led Dornishman fighters into the war because Elya was essentially the Mad King's hostage in King's Landing. He, along with Jonathan Dorry, wouldn't survive the battle at the Trident, which only fueled Dorne's anger. Sir Barristan also fought in the same battle and was seriously wounded. It took a sword, a spear, and an arrow to take him down. He was such a respected knight that Robert Baratheon decided to have his own maester take care of him. Robert is the same man that wanted Rhaegar's very own children dead, so this means a lot. Jaime was kept by the Mad King's side while this entire war was taking place for the same purpose Elya served. With Jaime in King's Landing, the Mad King believed Jaime as a sort of hostage Tywin and the Western Lands wouldn't go against them. He was wrong, and Jaime was the one to kill him in the final moments of the war, earning him his nickname Kingslayer. When Robert took the Iron Throne for himself, he kept both Jaime and Barristan on the Kingsguard. The Lannisters proved to be valuable for Robert during and after the rebellion, so it's understandable that he kept Jaime. Barristan is as honorable as it gets, so there wasn't reason to worry about his loyalty. The vacant spots were filled by Sir Boros Blount, Sir Mandon Moore, Sir Meryn Trant, Sir Preston Greenfield, and Sir Aerys Oakheart. Well, there was some unnamed knight who came before Aerys Oakheart, but he must have died 7 years after being sworn in, since Aerys took his vows in 290 AC. These 7 members would all outlive Robert Baratheon and serve under Joffrey, where things would quickly get chaotic. Joffrey wanted someone to blame for Robert Baratheon's death, and Varys suggested blaming Barristan, who was with him when the boar attacked him. Joffrey had Barristan dismissed from his duty with the excuse of his old age.
The Kingsguard is a sworn brotherhood. Our vows are taken for life. Only death relieves us of our sacred trust.
Whose death? Sir Barristan, yours or your king's? You let my father die. You're too old to protect anybody.
Even now I could cut through the five of you like carving a cake. Here, boy. Melt it down and add it to the others.
This was a huge insult towards him since a member of the Kingsguard serves for life, and even in his old age he is still one of the best fighters in Westeros. He may be in his late 50s or early 60s now, but he continues to accomplish feats he was able to do in his youth. He joined the Kingsguard as the hero that ended the War of the Nine-Penny Kings by killing Meleys the Monstrous from a Targaryen branch family in single combat when he was in his early 20s. He was also the hero who saved the Mad King when he was held captive. In his old age, he unhorsed Sandor Clegane, better known as the Hound, in a tourney joust. The man he would defeat ended up being his replacement. The Hound, who was not even a knight, was sworn in, and Jaime was promoted to Lord Commander in Barristan's place. This was an obvious attempt to surround the Lannisters with only people they can absolutely trust and who would follow their every command with unquestioning loyalty. Varys already claims that Sir Boros Blount and Meryn Trant truly serve Cersei, so adding someone who has been serving the Lannisters for so long will only add to their influence. Even in Barristan's rage, he was committed to fulfilling his duty. Within the Red Keep, the Kingsguard live in a place called the White Sword Tower, which makes sense because of their other names being White Swords and White Cloaks. Within their tower is the White Book, where the Lord Commander records the deeds of the Kingsguard. With his honor spit on, Barristan wrote about his dismissal in the White Book, only to find out Joffrey sent men to arrest him. Without a sword, he killed the men hunting him and eventually made his way to Essos to serve Daenerys. During Joffrey's reign, the small folk were being hit hard by the food shortages in King's Landing due to the Reach not providing their harvests and the Riverlands being a battlefield. Tyrion sets up Myrcella to be sent to Dorne, and as everyone is seeing her off, a riot breaks out. During the riot, Sir Preston Greenfield is killed. The riot was so intense that it took days to find his disfigured body. Soon after, Mandon Moore would die in the Battle of the Blackwater. He was ordered to kill Tyrion during the battle after escorting Joffrey to safety. He was only able to wound Tyrion since Pod came to his rescue. It's safe to assume that it was Joffrey who ordered Mandon, but I don't think it's been confirmed. When Tyrion tries to investigate who wants him dead, all he learns is that Mandon came with Jon Arryn from the Vale to serve Robert, yet not a single person likes the guy. This leads a lot of fans to think Peter Baelish was behind it because he's wanted Tyrion out of the picture from the beginning. This theory makes a lot of sense because of Peter's ties with Lysa and the Vale. Also during the Battle of the Blackwater, the Hound would abandon his position, making it the first time we see him disobey Joffrey and the Lannisters.
Your Kingsguard, Clegane. We must beat them back or they're going to take this city. Your king's city.
Fuck the Kingsguard. Fuck the city. Fuck the king.
To fill the empty positions, Sir Osmond Kettleback, Sir Balon Swan, and the Knight of Flowers himself, Sir Loras Tyrell, was sworn in. Sir Osmond kinda came out of nowhere as his hedge knight. He was in the middle of this spying triangle between Littlefinger, Tyrion, and Cersei. All of them wanted him to spy for them, but would eventually only be loyal to Cersei after she makes him a member of the Kingsguard. Like Osmond, it was Cersei to appoint Sir Balon Swan. Loras was chosen because of how much the Lannisters depend on the Tyrells and the Reach. Mace Tyrell and his men rescued King's Landing during the Battle of Blackwater, and their harvests would be needed if the small folk are to survive. In exchange, Mace wanted Margaery to be queen, and Loras, a member of the Kingsguard, to protect her. For a short while, Boros Blount was arrested for poorly protecting Tommen and letting Tyrion's men take him without a fight. Later he would be reinstated, but as a food taster for Tommen, after the death of Joffrey and his wedding. Things would continue to be chaotic even after Joffrey's death, and into Tommen's reign. Aerys Oakheart was sent with Myrcella to Dorne to protect her while she is so far away, while he would break his vows and fall in love with Arianne Martell. Arianne is Doran Martell's daughter who wanted Myrcella over Tommen to rule over the Seven Kingdoms. She convinces Aerys to join her on this crazy plot, which only ended with him being killed by Doran's guard, Aeryo Hota. Balon Swan was sent to Dorne with the mission of bringing Myrcella back to Cersei and setting up a secret plan by Cersei to have Trystane Martell killed, who was betrothed to Myrcella. Loras Tyrell is at death's door after being sent into war, and Osmond is arrested for sleeping with Cersei. Since Cersei is also locked up in the books, Qyburn tells Tommen to appoint the knight Robert Strong to the Kingsguard in Aerys Oakheart's place. Show watchers know that this is just the Mountain as a zombie, but it's also heavily hinted in the books.
May I have the honor of presenting the newest member of the Kingsguard?
He will be Cersei's champion in the next book. The Kingsguard is in complete shambles, with Meryn Trant and Balon Swan the only whole members left. Ellen Payne is training Jaime to fight with his left hand, but it's not looking good. He's nowhere near the fighter he used to be without his right hand. Boris Blount is not only a coward, but in horrible shape and not competent. I'm sure in the last 2 books there will be drastic changes in members, so maybe I'll update this video one day. Thanks for watching.